The answer is 176. Answer for this one is 62. Answer to this one should be 1. The winning number today is 1.
It's 1. Yeah, we did. I told you. I did it.
15 out of 19 is how much?
68.
79. 79%. Here are the answers. For your expressions, you should have had x minus 1, x plus 5, x, and x plus 1. The numbers are 41, 47, 42, and 43 in order. X value was 42. And it turned out to be car 2. And the problem indicated that it wasn't just a bonus for over a certain amount, it was a bonus for the entire set that they had, the miles. And you had to multiply it by 74.97 to get 35.23.59. Add 5,000 for being the winner, and it's 85.23.59. The way you're going to score your homework is you get 1 point each for the following items. 1 point per expression that you have right. 1 point for having the x value of 42. 1 point each for the mileage for each car. That should take you up to 9. And then the 10th point will be having the amount of money, 85.23.59. I'm going to put a red dot beside everything that's going to be scored on this. Let's see, we'll go there. Whoops, didn't mean to do that. There we go. And each of these. Alright, those are all the things. You get 1 point each. Are there any questions about anything on this problem before you come up? Today's objective is going to be the same as before. Here's example 1. There are 4 people picking apples. Joe picked twice as many as Mary. Jeff picked 10 less than twice as many as Joe. Maggie picked 30 less than 3 times as many as Jeff. The total apples picked by all of them is 880. There is a bonus of $1.25 for each apple picked over 500. Who earned this bonus and how much was the bonus? So we'll start here. There we go. We're going to lower this down a little bit and fill it in. So Joe picked twice as many as Mary. Is Mary mentioned anywhere else in the problem that would give you an indication of what she has? No. So we're going to start with Joe. So we'll start with Joe. And then Mary. Mary would have to be what? X. Joe picked twice as many as Mary. So what's Joe? 2x, yes. So the next one is Jeff. Jeff picked 10 less than twice as many as Joe. So here's Joe. Joe is 2x. And Jeff picked 10 less than twice as many as Joe. Twice as many as Joe, you'd have to multiply Joe by 2 and then take away how many? 10. So once again, here is Joe. Joe is 2x. And Jeff is 10 less than twice as many as Joe. Twice as many as Joe means you multiply whatever Joe is by 2. And 10 less means you take it away after you do that. So this would be 4x minus 10. You multiply the 2x by 2 to get 4x, and then you have minus 10. Jeff is 4x minus 10. The next person on here is Maggie. And Maggie picked 30 less than 3 times as many as Jeff. So go back to Jeff here. Jeff is 4x minus 10. And Maggie picked 30 less than 3 times as many as Jeff. 3 times Jeff would be 3 times that expression that represents Jeff. And don't forget, you have to take away 30 because that's what it says. Maggie picked 30 less than 3 times Jeff. And don't forget, this is Jeff, 4x minus 10. You have to simplify that. You simplify it by multiplying the 3 by each item inside the parentheses. 3 times 4x is what? 12x. And 3 times minus 10 is what? A negative 10 times 3? Negative 30, so we write minus 30. But don't forget, you still have that minus 30 from out here. Now, how could I simplify minus 30 and minus 30? What's minus 30 minus 30?
Minus 60.
Minus 60. So fill that in. 12x minus 60. And everything for the total is 880. Add all of these up, and we'll look at the x's first. We have 2x. What's 2x plus x? 3x. 3x plus 4x. 7x. What's 7x plus 12x? 19x. Now we go back with the constants. What's minus 10 minus 60?
Minus 70.
Minus 70, right. And we set it equal to 880, which is the total. So do we add 70 to the right side or do we subtract? We add it because you do the opposite. Opposite of minus 70 is plus 70. What's 880 plus 70? 950. So if I divide 950 by 19, what do I get? 50. Okay, so x is 50. You have 4 people, and those are going to be Joe, Mary, Jeff, and Maggie. We have to find out how many apples each one picked. So if x is 50 and Joe is 2x, then how many apples does Joe have? 100, right. And Mary is x, and x is 50. So Mary has how many? 50. And Jeff is 4x minus 10, and x is 50. So what's 50 times 4? And minus 10? 190. Now we go to Maggie. Maggie is 12x minus 60. X is 50. So if I put 50 here, what's 12 times 50? 600. And what's 600 minus 60? 540, right. Now, are there any questions about how we arrived at these apple amounts for each person? The rest of the problem. There is a bonus of $1.25 for each apple picked over 500. Does that mean that Maggie will get 540 times $1.25, or does it mean she'll get 40 times $1.25?
40 times $1.25.
That's right, because for each apple picked over 500. So let's shorten up the screen here a little bit and take care of Maggie. Maggie had 540 apples, and the minimum for the bonus is 500, so she had 40 more than what was necessary. So you multiply that 40 by the bonus listed in the problem, $1.25, and what is that? It's 50. So the answer is Maggie and $50 for her bonus. Before we go to a practice problem, what if I had somebody named Joe and he had 2x minus 5 apples. And then there's somebody named Sally who had 17 less than twice Joe. Where would I start to come up with an expression for Sally? Yeah, we would put Joe in parentheses, and then what would we do? Yeah, twice Joe would be 2 times, then what? And subtract 17. Now when I go to simplify this part right here, what do I get? Four x minus 10 is right, and the way you get that is multiply 2 by 2x and 2 by the minus 5. Now how do I simplify this? Minus 27. Yeah, negative 10 minus 17 is negative 27, and you put it in as a minus 27. Whoops, not there. There are 4 people picking apples. Joe picked 3 times as many as Mary. Jeff picked 50 less than twice as many as Joe. Maggie picked 25 less than twice as many as Jeff. The total apples picked by all of them is 705. There is a bonus of $1.25 for each apple picked over 500. Who earned this bonus and how much was the bonus? Alright, so we have 4 people picking apples. We're going to start with Joe and Mary. Once again, Mary is going to end up being the X. If Joe picked 3 times as many as Mary, then what is Joe?
3x.
3x. Alright, Jeff is next. So here's Jeff. Jeff picked 50 less than twice as many as Joe. Here is Joe, and 50 less as twice as many as Joe. So what expression does that turn out to be? 6x minus 50 is right. And then we go to Maggie. Maggie picked 25 less than twice as many as Jeff. Well, here's Jeff. Jeff is 6x minus 50, and Maggie picked 25 less than twice as many as Jeff. So if we're going to simplify this, we would do 2 times 6x, which is what?
12x.
12x. 2 times minus 50. Yes, and then minus 25. How do I simplify this? Minus 125, right. Negative 100 minus 25 is minus 125. The total is 705. I have 3x. What's 3x plus x? 4x. 4x plus 6x. 10x. And 10x plus 12x. 22x. Alright, so 22x, negative 50, minus 125.
175.
Yeah, negative 175, so we make it minus 175. Do I add or subtract 175 from the right? We're going to add it, yeah, so 705 plus 175 turns out to be what? 880. 880 divided by 22 is what? 40. Okay, so we have Joe, and then Mary, Jeff, and then Maggie. For Joe, Joe is 3x, and x is 40. So what does Joe have? 120. Mary is x, so she is 40. Jeff is 6x minus 50. X is 40, so 6 times 40 is what? 240 minus 50, 190. And Maggie is 12x minus 125. X is 40. What's 12 times 40? 480 minus 125. 355. Now the rest of the problem says there is a bonus of $1.25 for each apple picked over 500. Who earned this bonus and how much was the bonus? Who earned the bonus?
No one.
Nobody. So if you made some indication that was similar to or exactly no one, then you have it. We have Joe, and then we have George. Joe picked 8 more apples than twice as many as George. Here's George. So we'll put this down here at the bottom. X is George, and Joe picked 8 more than twice as many as George. What's twice as many as 2x? And then what? Minus 8. Yes, so 2x minus 8. The total is 44. Oh, plus 8. Oh, okay, you're right. It's plus 8. 2x and x is what? 3x plus 8 is 44. Do I subtract or add 8? Subtract it. So 44 minus 8 is 36. What is x? 12. And who is 12? And Joe would be how much? 32.